I'm going to be doing something a little bit different today, actually. I want to do a book review of one of my absolute favorite authors. His name is Bepin Behari, and he lived about, I think he died about like 2002, 2003, and he lived through most of the 20th century, and I think he's one of the greatest unknown Vedic astrologers out there. And so I became familiar with him when I got a couple of his books. So I want to go over two complementary books that I think every Vedic astrologer should have, and especially if you're starting out. So the first one I want to go over, this is Fundamentals of Vedic Astrology. Okay. People are like, stop that shit. Fundamentals of Vedic Astrology here. I'll put this up in here in the book. So Fundamentals of Vedic Astrology, this is a really great book because first of all, the one thing that I really love, among many things about Bepin Behari, is he had a really great understanding of esoteric astrology. I mean, this guy really knew how to get into it. So when you get this book, so he basically starts off by going over, so he puts a lot of these esoteric charts in here. I think you can see that here. And this is just basically a circle wheel of the nakshatras and how they relate. And really, if you like to go into really what astrology is about, how like it's divinely inspired, what it means at extremely deep levels. Bepin Behari is he's the guy that he's the person that really does a great job of it. Okay, so first he starts out by talking about the planets, and then he starts talking about the nakshatras, and then he talks about the houses. So he gets the three basics together, and then when he does it, like in the second half of the book here, let me page two, as he starts going through his methodology here. Whoop, whoop, see that? Whoop, whoop. I'm probably making people should say. He goes into his methodology of how he likes to read a chart, and the thing is, there's some basic, like here's another cool thing too. Look at how he breaks down like all the gods and everything, the deities associated with each sign in each house. I mean, this man, I can't recommend this book enough. So anyway, he goes back into like how to actually put together the chart. Okay, and you can actually, if you didn't have any Vedic astrology software, he this shows you how to put it together by hand. I mean, it's that good. Okay, and then it goes into more esotericism. So the companion book for this, and this is the one that I absolutely love. This is my favorite book when it comes to astrology, planets and signs and houses here. And let's see if I can get us both in here. Basically, this one has a description. He does a great job. So it's broken down by house. Okay, there's 12 houses in astrology. Of course, there's 12 signs. Now, I do want to let you know that as far as the planets, this does not cover Uranus, Saturn, and Pluto because they're not part of the original Vedic system. It's because they weren't visible at the time that they wrote it, and now in India they're like, yeah, it doesn't exist. So it's up to us Western astrologers to kind of put the stuff together. So he goes through and describes every house in detail, every sign in detail, what it means. This is really done a lot better and on a much deeper level than a lot of other books that I've read. Some books are like they're very superficial. This is not superficial. This is for the person that does meditation, witchcraft, that understand. This is really occult symbolism. Both these books, the the unique thing about them is they go really deep into occult symbolism. So if you're a heavy Scorpio, this is the book for you. So yeah, it describes every planet and every sign in every house. Okay, so if you take 12 by 12 by 9, that's roughly about 1,000 entries into this. Now, each page isn't really it doesn't have one description. Most of the descriptions are about maybe 4 or 5 sentences, but it's if you really want to start synthesizing a chart, this is a good place to start. Now, the one thing that I warn you, and it's like this with a lot of Vedic stuff, is that it's very fatalistic. Okay, he's very fatalistic about how well, like there'll be a combination for like Mars in a goofy position, and it's like you will be intellectually ruined. So you have to take it with a grain of salt. You also have to understand that there's also aspects and planetary signs and lords and signs and all that stuff. So that changes it up. So just to go over again, this is Fundamentals of Vedic Astrology by Bepin Behari and Planets and Signs and Houses. These are only about 15 bucks, and I don't think they are on Kindle. If you can find it on Kindle, let me know. My contact information is below. So thank you for stopping by, and I love these books. I'm also going to be doing more book reviews as I go on because, like any other astrologer, I got a huge library of stuff, and I've been collecting books now for 20 years. So yeah, I mean, but I'll just give you the best of the best. I mean, the ones that I really like. So, all right, everybody, have a great night, and of course, thank you for tuning in. Always.